everyone, my name is Longdi Chen. Today my presentation is about the professional collaboration between EAP teachers and content teachers in a Sino-UK university. Because of the limited time I have, I will mainly focus on the research background, research questions, research design, research findings, and some implications. Let me first of all give you a quick introduction to the research background. I will focus on English medium instruction and the collaboration between language teachers and content specialists. First of all, EMI, English medium instruction. This is defined by Macarroll and his colleagues as the teaching of academic subjects through the medium of English in non-Anglophone countries. According to law, in this circumstance, language and content are integrated and inseparable. This actually places some language features to the content delivery. This raises questions about content teachers' language competence. Currently, research on EMI is mainly conducted in European context. There is a lack of empirical research in higher education in China. So what do we know about EMI in higher education in China? Wen and his colleagues identified some common problems with the EMI programs in higher education in China, and they are as follows. First of all, students' English level is just not there yet for EMI. Number two, teachers' qualification and language competence is another problem. Of course, there's institution environment and condition issues, and also teaching methods and textbook issues. In my presentation, I will focus on the first two problems, because the last two problems are not really problems in the focal university where the study was conducted. First of all, about students' English proficiency level, their English is just not there yet for EMI. Han and Yu compared a validated standard entrance level assessment of content-based instruction in a university in Canada. They compared this assessment with college English test band 4 and 6 in China, and they concluded that for students to fully benefit from EMI, they have to either pass CED 6 or achieve 80% or more of the total mark of CET 4. But until 2002, the national passing rate of CET 6 was actually 21.83%. And I did a little bit of digging and found that there has actually been a decline in recent years. We don't know the reason, but it sends out the message how many students are actually benefiting from EMI, how many of them can actually understand the content sitting in the same classroom. Next is teacher qualification and language competence issue. This is actually a problem not just particular to EMI in higher education in China. This is actually a global issue because content teacher and language teacher, they are experts in their own areas. For example, content teacher, they do not possess necessarily language pedagogical knowledge or certain certificate. And language teachers are language specialists who do not possess necessary content knowledge to deliver subject-specific lessons in higher education. So it is natural that content teacher and language specialists are encouraged to work together, to collaborate, to benefit students enrolled in these EMI programs. Now let's shift our focus to the collaboration between language teachers and content teachers. Usually these kind of collaboration is carried out in English-speaking countries to better prepare students for mainstream classrooms, mainly in secondary level. And according to these researchers, there is a lack of empirical research on these kind of collaboration, and especially a lack of research in higher education. The current research on language teacher and content teacher collaboration focuses on the linguistic demands of the content, not necessarily the process. And also, there exists a difficulty to assess the effectiveness of their collaboration. So we ask these questions. Number one, how do language teacher and content teacher collaborate in the focal university? Number two, how do they each perceive their roles? Number three, how do they think about the effectiveness of their collaboration? Number four, what are the influencing factors? Here is what I have designed to answer these research questions. I've got a semi-structured interview with teachers. I've got 3 language teachers and 2 content teachers. One of the content teachers wasn't responsive, so I ended up with only 2 content teachers. I also distributed questionnaires to both teachers and students to analyze their needs. Finally, I've got a focus group of 4 students, and they are from 2 modules. The research was conducted in a Sino-UK university in China. The university actually follows a UK university system, so that means the assessment, textbook, everything actually follows the UK system. That is why the institutional factor and textbooks are not really issues in this study. In this university, the majority of the students are Chinese students who are admitted to the university by their Gaokao score, which is a more overall and comprehensive academic performance. They do not necessarily need to have a TOEFL or IELTS score to be admitted to the university. So this is a brief introduction to the context. Here is what I have found. Firstly, both language teachers and content teachers consider their collaboration as satisfactory. Their common goal is to help students understand the content. They work together so as to make sure the students can understand the content. Although they have established the same goal, they only see themselves responsible for their own area. Language teacher focus on the language aspect of the content. Content teacher focus on the content. Secondly, the collaboration was carried out in a flexible, negotiable, and changeable way. They can be very flexible. They sit down, they talk about their collaboration. They decide when they're going to have the meeting. These kind of things. Although the collaboration was carried out in a relatively amicable environment and atmosphere, uneven power relationship between the language teacher and the content teacher was actually detected. The content teacher has actually more say in their collaboration. The content teacher decides when they're going to have the meeting and how the language teacher can support the content teacher. This is partially because these modules are actually owned by the departments, so they have more say in the collaboration. Finally, in terms of the effectiveness of the collaboration, both the language teacher and content teacher believed that their collaboration helped to address some immediate needs of the module. For example, terms and vocabulary students need to understand. Also, the reading materials assigned to the students, some skills such as presentation skills, the need for the assessments. So these immediate needs are actually addressed in their collaboration. But due to different language proficiency levels of students, it's actually very difficult to assess the effectiveness of their collaboration. Because for students whose language level is high enough, they don't really need the help from the language teacher. For those whose English is just not there yet, with or without the help from the language teacher, they wouldn't understand the content anyways. So in this sense, it is difficult to assess the effectiveness of their collaboration. I also identified other influencing factors, and these factors included the module setting. For example, how many students are enrolled in the module, whether the lecture was delivered in a lecture hall or a regular classroom. Also, factors such as workload and language teachers' academic background. These are also factors that may influence the effectiveness of their collaboration. So this brings me to the last bit. What does this tell us? First of all, I feel like on the institution or department level, it's a good idea to establish certain policies on the collaboration, how the collaboration should be carried out. It may help if there are guidelines or manuals in place, so that participating teachers have something to refer to. Also, it's suggested that careful calculation and reduction of workload will also benefit their collaboration. In literature, it is often the case that when uneven power relationship was identified, there is tension between the language teacher and the content teacher. This is not really the case in the focal university, probably because the language teacher actually got workload reduction for their collaboration with the content teacher. Some of them are actually working on these collaboration modules full-time. So you can imagine how devoted they are to these programs. Secondly, it would be very interesting to think about how to converge the linguistic aspects of the collaboration modules with the existing EAP courses, because students are taking their regular EAP classes and they are also participating in these collaboration modules. We want to provide these kind of students with specific but extra help when they are sitting in the classroom of the collaboration modules. So it would be very important to consider how we can do that. Finally, since we have identified a problem, which is the different proficiency level, it's extremely important then to think about what kind of help we can offer to those with relatively low proficiency level. What can we do for them, and how can we communicate the information to these students? All right, this is pretty much what I have to share today. Here is the reference list. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.